You trying to figure out how to heal without disappointing anybody, without taking any risks, and without losing anything. It's not possible. You trying to wait for the right time. The right time is now.
Welcome to the Black Mother Wound podcast, where we center the stories of Black women as we heal from the painful relationships with our mothers.
Hey y'all, what's happening? Welcome back to the Black Mother Wound podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Arnice. I need somebody to tell me who Darnell is before we get started into this, because I was just downstairs getting some water and my son is home from school today because they have some type of teacher work day. They were off Friday, they off Monday. Help me understand why these kids ain't never at school. But anyway, I was saying something to him and he said, "Okay, Darnell." And he said something else and he was like, "You're right, Darnell. Who is Darnell?" I can't keep up. Like, because, I like to keep up though with the slang with these young people, low key, high key, I be in it, you know what I'm saying? But I don't know who Darnell is. And is he trying to be funny? Am I the butt of the joke? So somebody send me a message or comment below and tell me who the fuck Darnell is. So I know if I need to box him out or if I can get in on the joke and I can call somebody else Darnell. I'm a cool mom, right? So I hope everybody is doing well today. Um, I am good. I recorded this episode and at the end of it, I realized there was no sound. So this is a do-over. And boy, if y'all would have heard everything I said, you probably want me to do over. But I'm gonna do the same thing I did in the first time I recorded it. But now I have my microphone that is working. Yeah, so we're gonna do it again. It's all good. So just breathe in with me and breathe out. And because of that, let's just jump on in to what I want to talk about today. Healing is an action verb. I feel like I'm like a elementary school teacher trying to teach this lesson today about verbs and nouns and all that kind of stuff. The work we're doing here is healing our mother wound. That wound is rooted in our lack of autonomy and authority. It is healed by repairing the relationship we have with ourself. Okay? Ergo, thus forth, intuitive healing is an action verb. It is not like the verb is or to be. It is not a verb of being. It is a verb of doing. Much like love. Love to me is an action verb. You're going to have to show me. You cannot tell me, right? And so I've been trying to understand why there's a disconnect and what that disconnect is between you creating the life you want and you staying where you are. And I had to look at the word healing, what we know about it, how we came to know it, and what it means to us in a bigger context. And I think that we have to go back, for me, this is how I'm explaining it, that we have to go back to our Christian roots. Your girl was raised Southern Pentecostal, holiness, Church of God in Christ, no pants until middle school. And when I did start wearing pants, they were 3 sizes too big, so nobody could see my shape. Okay, no secular music, no secular shows. I could watch Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and I forgot what the other one was. If it after that, I was watching Moses, the story of Jesus, and Samson and Delilah, and whatever my mother had on Betamax. That's it, and a couple cartoons. Most of us learn the word healing from a religious context. Okay, and in that context, healing was something that God did. It was something that Jesus did. And the Christian's job, the person's job, was to believe that it was going to happen. Faith was the action. I believe God is going to heal this, that, or the third. Somebody else is going to do it. My job, right? The human's job is to believe and to show themselves worthy of the healing, generally through being a good Christian, which, in my opinion, is largely a performative set of rituals that people do to show, hey, I'm a good person. I deserve this thing, right? And usually the things that people want to heal were their body, physical ailments they wanted healed, emotional things they wanted healed, fear, depression, relationships. They wanted relationships healed. They want their child to act right. They want their husband to act right. And it was largely hands off. The greatest changes that we wanted in our lives from a Christian perspective are largely hands off. My job is to know the word, to believe, and to consume all of the information around how we think the healing happens and become well versed, right? It's like, oh, if a person knew a lot about the Bible, they were more apt to have the healing happen because they showed they were a true believer, a true follower. Some of y'all have been watching me for 2 years, 3 years, and nothing has changed. I'm going to start there. I'm going to put it down, but I'm going to pick it back up. Now, let's speak to other areas of your life where we don't take the same route in order to have impact in our life and change in our life. You want more money, right? You may pray, because we're taking this from the concept of Christianity, because this is where most people learned about healing and the word, to what it means to heal. You might say, Lord, I need some more money, but you're going to say, Lord, help me find a new job. You know that there is a teamwork involved in that, right? You know, to make more money, you either have to get a job that pays you more per hour or you got to work more hours. If you want a check, you have to go to work. There is an action directly associated with the benefit that you hope to receive. When it comes to, let's say you want to change your body. I would say get in shape, but you can change your body without getting in shape. You know, you're going to either have to eat right and exercise, or you're going to have to go make an appointment with a surgeon. Either way, it's all good. But there is an action you have to take. You know that your body will never change if you just sit still and do nothing. It doesn't even, you wouldn't even think that that's good. You know that you have to make a change in order for your body to look different or for you to be in shape. Money and our physical appearance are things that are tangible. We can see them right? We can smell them, touch them, hear them, all taken in with our regular senses. The changes you want mentally and emotionally, we as a people are generally, I'm talking about Black folks, generally don't apply the same practice and process to those things. And we want the same results, though. And I think because as a people, we have dealt with so much trauma through slavery, systematic racial oppression, that the emotions that have come up for us have been ones that we were not put in a position to be able to manage on our own because we didn't have the autonomy. We didn't have the autonomy and authority to be enraged when somebody beat us because we didn't pick enough cotton, or we didn't smile, or we didn't say yes, ma'am, or no, sir, when we should have, when they think we should have. We didn't have the autonomy to have grief when somebody took our child from us and sold a child and took it, and we never saw them again. It was so illogical what was happening that we were given the Bible as a tool, not for our own physical liberation, but for our emotional liberation, to give us some reasoning as to what is happening and to give us the space to be able to tolerate actually more and more trauma, because the reward is you get to go to heaven. I'm gonna lose some of y'all, and we've already had this conversation before about how I feel about that. Go with God. Do what is best for you. I was raised in the church. I'm not new to this. To the indoctrination of emotional and spiritual bypassing. That was at one point a part of our survival, and now it's cultural. Even if you're not a person who's actively in the church, you being introduced to healing for things that you can't see, emotions, right? Situations, relationships, how we were indoctrinated into that through religion has continued to rob you of your autonomy. And that's why I do feel the, I don't know, I'm going to say the Black church, how the Black church plays into the mother wound, because it is not a place that facilitates authority. It is not a place that facilitates autonomy. And that gets ingrained in us some way or another, even as a society, how we look at what healing is, how we change our life, emotional perspective. And usually things that have to deal with us when it comes to emotions have to do with relationships. And a mother wound is a relational wound that impacts all your other relationships, especially the one you have with yourself. I'm saying all this to say that you are going to have to come out of that thought process when it comes to changing your life in terms of healing your mother wound. I hear often people talking about how they binge my content, right? And I hear, you have helped me a lot, Jennifer. But I really want to hear how your life has changed. How have you implemented these things that I've been saying that you've been binging in over 50 episodes that you've been listening to, right? How are you putting it into action? Because healing is an action verb. It requires deliberate, consistent, focused action. The same way you go about finding a new job, right? all those things you go into. Okay, what type of job do I want? Okay, how much money do I need to make? All right. Do I already have that skill set, or do I need to learn something? Okay, I need to learn something to get that job. All right. Do I know anybody who works in that area who can give me an interview? No. Okay, I need to apply for jobs. Oh, where am I going to go? I'm going to go to LinkedIn. I'm going to go to Monster. I'm going to go to Facebook. Where am I going to go? I'm going to apply for jobs. Oh, let me get my resume ready. There is a series of tasks and actions that you take, down to what you're going to wear to your interview. You got it together. What your interview wig is going to be. All of those things. What are the questions? How are you going to answer them? So you can accomplish the goal of getting the job to make the money. You would not make that money if you sat and just watch videos about jobs all day. How to interview, how to apply for a job, how to redo your resume. You could watch all of that shit all day long. Nothing is going to change until you start to implement. Same thing here. And I hear every story in the world why people can't implement. I'm a student. I still live at home with my mom. I have this amount of kids. I can't do it's so many reasons. And I'm compassionate and I'm empathetic, but I'm also realistic, and I have been there. I've been raising a child by myself for 17 years. I done been homeless, sleeping on a cot in a church. I done had to carry water. Y'all, my son is blowing his nose. I hope y'all don't hear it. It sounds like a train is coming down the damn hallway. These are the things that we go through. But guess what? I'm going to keep on going. But it just distracted me so much, I had to say something just in case y'all hear it. Anywho, I've had to carry gallon jugs of water in my car because I know my car is going to overheat at least twice every time I get in it. I've not paid bills before. I done been evicted. I done had cars repossessed. And I'm talking about while I'm on my healing journey. I'm not talking about before the healing journey. I'm talking about during the healing journey. Okay? I done had to make payment arrangements. I done had to cut people off who could have helped me if I would have kept them around. But the help that they would be giving me would put me further back in my healing journey, because I would have to betray myself. I would have to abandon myself in order to be in that relationship. And short term, it looks like it's worth it. It's not. Betraying and abandoning yourself for short term gain is never going to put you in a place where, oh, I can come back. It's going to help me in the long run. It's not. It's not going to help you. um, I had notes on this. I didn't print them out. And I'm trying to stay on task. And I'm very passionate about this because we are coming to the end of the first quarter of 2025. And even if you've just been listening to me for the last 3 months, you have enough information to be taking deliberate, consistent action in repairing. I'm going to take out the word healing and I'm going to say repair. Because when you need your car fixed, if your brakes are bad, you don't read up on what fixed brakes look like. You know you have to go get your brakes fixed, or you're going to get in the car, you're going to slide off into a ditch. So let's look at it like that. I like that. Let's look at it repair. If there's a hole in a sock, there has to be an action to close that hole up. You got to put you got to put thread through a needle and then put that thread through that sock and sew it up. Healing your mother wound is the same way. And some of y'all are caught in what I would call religious and spiritual bypassing. And either you're caught from the religious standpoint or you're over on the other side, the spiritual standpoint, where you have given your power to all the crystals. And I'm a crystal girly. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I can have this conversation. I'm a crystal girly. Lapis lazuli for your throat chakra, rose quartz, aventurine for your heart chakra. Okay. All of them, tiger eye, everything. But y'all getting caught up in, oh, I got my crystals. You getting caught up in Mercury being in retrograde. You getting caught up in the moon cycle. You getting caught up in what's in Venus and Jupiter. All of these things, you are giving your authority away. These are examples of how you give your authority away. You want to ask a psychic what she think you should do and why is this happening to me? What happened in the past life? You want to do everything except the hard motherfucking work of repairing the broken relationship that you have with yourself. And there is no other way. It is the hardest way. It is also the most direct way. And it really is the only way. Anything else is going to be surface level. It's going to be performative at best. And it's only going to work in a certain situation and it's going to be temporary. But if you want fundamental transformation, you have to take action. And you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone. And you're going to have to disappoint people. And you're going to have to take risks. You trying to figure out how to heal without disappointing anybody, without taking any risks, and without losing anything. It's not possible. You trying to wait for the right time. The right time is now. And I'm telling you this because some of y'all are sitting on y'all asses and y'all are making a lot of excuses and it's everybody's fault but your own. And I love that you all watch and listen to this podcast every week. But if you're not implementing consistently, thoroughly, in a focused way, this don't mean shit. And the sad part is most people will not take action. 96% of the population does not take action. They make excuses and call it a strategy. They call it timing. They do everything else that I have talked about. But they don't pick up their bed and motherfucking walk. Okay? And if you don't do that over and over and over again, nothing is going to change. And I hear somebody saying, well, Jennifer, well, I've been doing that, but nothing is different. Something is different. Something is different. Even if it's just the habit that you have created, the discipline you have created in yourself is different. Right? And what is the change that you're looking for? I hope that you're not doing this work to keep a relationship with somebody else, to stay in a place that you don't need to be in. Because oftentimes you will do that. You will do all of the healing to keep something that you're not supposed to have. Remember, this work is self-centered. It is about you and you only. And it doesn't mean that other shit won't fall off. What does it look like for you? You need to get a realistic picture of what healing even looks like so you know what actions you need to be taking. And if you're in this community, healing is about not abandoning yourself. It is about showing up authentically. It is about having real self-esteem, building real community based off of who you are, not who you can be of service to and who thinks you're a good person. That's not it. It is not the safest route. I can't even come on here and tell you how to make it easy. I can tell you it's worth it. And some people don't like what I had to say today. Some people won't. But this is really all a part of y'all got to get y'all shit together. And moving forward, you probably can tell in some of the past episodes, I've been doing a lot of hand holding. And we got to get out of that. This work is for people who are passionate, they are driven, they know that there is a life that they are meant to have, and they are willing to do what it takes to get it. And I can only talk about that because that is the talk that I walk. It is really like, oh, there is something burning in me. There is a vision I have for my life. And I am not in the place to be receptive of that vision, to live in that. You're the only person that can change that. It's not 47. It's not the economy. It's not your uncle, your mama, your daddy, your kids. It's none of it. So please do not send me no messages with the reasons why you can't. Don't do it. Just delete. Delete. And if you think that somebody is supposed to come save you, they're not. But if that's where you are and you want to stay there, my work is never going to help you get any closer. And it surely is not to be used to get somebody else to do something. It's only for you. That's it. Healing is an action verb. Repair is a thing that you do. And you need to really have a coming to Jesus, air quote, about how you have been moving through life and where you don't want to be accountable, where you want to reap all the benefits. You want to reap all the benefits that life has to offer, but you don't want to risk anything else. Nope. And you think, if I'm a good enough person, and I watch enough shows and listen enough podcasts and read enough memes on Instagram, that it'll come around. Ma'am, it will not. It's not. And that's the number one problem. That's the number one issue that I see. If you're not living the life that you want to live, that's why. It's the number one. Whether it's a mother wound, no matter what it is, anybody out here that's not making progress, and this is not from a space of you can just snap your finger and it happened. I've been doing this work for a decade. I can't tell you. And that's another thing. Y'all want it to happen overnight. It's not going to. And I'm okay with that. I could go on for days. My camera about to cut off. I love y'all. We are all in this together. I will see you next week. Hit me up in the comments. I want to hear what you think about this. Okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye.